Continuing our reading in Ragweed and Poppy by Avi, this episode is chapter 39 at Gray House. When the blue car came to a full stop, Susan picked up the trap, put her face close to it, and whispered to Ragweed, "Spaghetti, I'm only going away for a short time. I have to go see the house. Don't go anywhere. I'll leave the window open so you can have plenty of fresh air." She pushed a side button, and this time the other back window opened. "Sweetheart," said her father, "trust me, she can't go anywhere. You have her locked in that cage, and you're going to keep the trap in the car, right?" "I know. I just wanted her to understand that I'll be back soon." With that, the girl set the trap down with Ragweed inside on the car's back seat. Then she opened the door, got out of the car, and walked across the road with her parents toward Gray House. "Hi there," called Mr. Saunderson, who was standing on the front porch, his hand extended. "I'm Jack Saunderson, real estate agent. Come right in." The mother raccoon saw the three people get out of the car. Then she watched as they went across the road toward Gray House and stepped onto the porch, where they were met by other people. "Where is Lotar?" she asked herself. "Is he still in the car?" Within the car inside the cage, Ragweed looked around. He knew that all the people were gone. Would they come back? The car was not moving. Was there some way that he could get out of the cage? Maybe this is my best chance. As he had many times before, he struggled to stretch the bars and lift the end flaps. It made no more difference than it had before. He sat back. Have to wait and see what happens. Under the car's back seat, Lotar also sensed that the car had stopped moving. He had heard the noises of the doors opening and slamming shut, though he was not sure what it meant. After listening to almost constant human talk since the car had started shaking and rumbling, he grasped he was no longer hearing any human voices. "Did those people go away?" he asked himself. He waited, but nothing happened, and there were no more sounds to alarm him. "Maybe they left alone. I wish someone would come and help me," he thought. The notion that no one would come filled him with anxiety. "What's going to happen to me?" Unable to wait anymore, he suddenly called out, "Mama! Where are you? Ragweed Mouse! Can you hear me? Guess what? I need your help again." To his complete surprise, what Lotar heard next was, "Dude, is that you?" "Yes, it's me, Lotar. Is that you, Ragweed?" Not only was Lotar excited to recognize Ragweed's voice, but he also heard, "Lotar, are you in there?" The young raccoon could hardly believe it. That was his mother's voice. The two most important voices in the world, his mother's voice and his best friend's voice, both telling him that they were near and ready to rescue him. Excited and relieved, Lotar crawled out from under the car seat. When he stood up on his hind legs, the first thing he saw was the trap. That inside the trap was Ragweed. "Ragweed!" he cried. "You came to help me, and you found my mama again. Thank you. That proves you love me, and I love you." Ragweed looked at the raccoon with astonishment. "How come you're here? And can't you see I'm the one who needs help?" "Why?" "It's this trap I'm in. You need to get me out. Use your claws and, see if you can open one of the end flaps." Lotar climbed up on the seat and made some fumbling pulls at the cage. "It won't open," he said. "Tell me about it," said Ragweed. "Lotar!" came a call from outside. "Do you hear me? Answer me. Are you in there?" Lotar hurried to the window, climbed up, and looked out. Sitting on the ground, he saw his mother. "Hello, Mama! Guess who's here?" "I don't care who's there," she said. "I need you to come out of that car right now and come to me." "I can't." "Why?" "Because my best friend Ragweed Mouse is here. He's in a trap and can't get out." Who did you say is there? Ragweed Mouse, my best friend, the one you threw away. How did he get in there? He came to help me because he loves me and he's brave and now he needs my help. I don't care anything about him, said the mother raccoon. I want you to get out of there now. We need to go home. Lotar shook his head. No, I can't. My friend helped me. Now I have to help him. Only I can't open the thing he's in. Would you please come in here and help me get him out? You have stronger claws than I do. The big raccoon sighed, looked around, and when she saw there was nothing to endanger her, she leaped up, grabbed hold of the window edge, drew herself in, and then dropped down inside the car onto the car's back seat. Ragweed, seeing the huge raccoon come into the car and remembering what she did the last time they were together, shrank down. The big raccoon put her face against the cage. What are you doing in there? She demanded of Ragweed. Dude, I promise, I don't want to be in here, but I can't get out. How about, helping me out? If I do, are you going to take my boy away again? I never did take him away. Trust me, it's him that keeps coming after me. You're welcome to keep him forever. The mother raccoon turned to Lotar. If I get this creature out of this box, do you absolutely promise to stay away from him and come home with me? I want you to help get him out. How do we do that? He said you have to open that part, said Lotar, pointing to the trap's end flap. The mother raccoon, poking and prying, studied the trap intently. She sat back. Okay, I think I can do that. She flexed her long claws. With that, she flipped up the U-bar that held one of the trap doors down. That was easy to do. Next, she pushed all her claws under the flap, lifted it a bit, and then with a grunt, pulled the flap entirely up, even as she called out, It's open! Hurrah! Called Lotar, and he clapped his paws. Ragweed saw his chance. He ran out of the cage. Once he was out, the raccoon let the flap shut with a sharp snap. I did it! Cried Lotar with joy. I freed Ragweed Mouse! On the car seat, free of the trap, it took Ragweed only seconds to realize he was indeed completely free. Dude, he told himself, yank yourself out of here. He looked for the best way to go. On one side of the car seat sat Lotar and the mother raccoon, effectively blocking the way to that window. Ragweed turned. The other window was open, and the way was clear. See you, he called, ran across the seat, quickly crawled up the side of the door to the open window. When he looked out, he saw a building. It seemed familiar. I know that place. That's where Poppy comes from. Gray House. Maybe she got home. I should say goodbye to her before I take off. With that, Ragweed leaped from the car, dropping to the ground. Once there, he looked up and down, saw that there was no danger, and raced across the road. Once across, Ragweed looked into the front yard of Gray House. It was deserted. That's weird, he thought. Last time I came here, the place was crowded with mice. What's going on? He continued forward, but as he approached the front porch, he saw a dog. The dog was straining on the leash, barking loudly, trying to get into the house. Fearful of the dog, Ragweed halted. Then he saw that the dog was being held back by a leash. If Poppy's in the house, she may be in trouble, he thought. Measuring with his eyes how far the dog could reach, Ragweed darted around him and ran into the house. Lotar, dismayed that Ragweed had jumped out of the car, clawed his way to the open window and looked out. He was just in time to see Ragweed scoot across the road and head for Gray House. Ragweed, don't leave me again, he called. I rescued you. You're my best friend. Don't go away. Ragweed kept going. Ragweed, shouted Lotar. Wait for me. Remembering how he had jumped from the train and knowing he could do it safely, Lotar leaped. "Oh, no," cried Poppy to the mice behind her. She was still under the snakeskin, as were all the others. They had come around the corner of Gray House. "I just saw a raccoon. It's heading for the house. Come on, we need to chase it away." "Lotar!" cried the mother raccoon from the blue car. "Where are you going? You promised that if I freed that mouse, you would come home with me." Furious, she crawled up to the open window. Perched on the sill, she looked out and saw Lotar heading for Gray House. "Come back, you foolish raccoon!" she called. But when he did not stop, she sprang down to the road. Determined to bring him back, she headed for the house. Lotar reached the front yard of Gray House. He heard something coming around the house. He stopped, looked, and could hardly believe what he saw. It was that snake moving around the corner of the house. "It's followed me," was his instant fearful thought. "It's coming after me." Terribly frightened, he went up the Gray House steps and raced across the front porch. Seeing the doorway was open, he ran right by the startled dog. Dudley, the dog, seeing the raccoon run by, gave a yelp and lunged forward. He did it with such power, the post to which his leash had been tied broke free. Completely unrestrained, Dudley dashed into the house in pursuit of Lotar. The mama raccoon reached the far side of the road. She simultaneously saw three things: a snake, Lotar rushing into the house, and a dog chasing after him. Her only thought was, "My boy's in danger, horrible danger. I have to save him." And with that, she raced toward the house. When Poppy came around to the front of the house, she stopped. First, she had seen one raccoon head for Gray House. Then she saw and heard the dog, barking feverishly, break free, leap forward, and also race into the house. Now she saw a second raccoon. She watched, horrified, as it scrambled up onto the porch and then inside. "Guys," she called, "I just saw 2 raccoons and an angry dog go into the house." "What are they doing in there?" asked Primrose. "I don't know, but our family probably needs help. Maybe we can scare them all out with this snake skin." "Cool," shouted Toadfax. "Let's do it." "Follow me," cried Poppy. In moments, she and the rest of the mice were on the porch and headed through the open doorway. That's the end of chapter 39.